So I'm with my office manager, Alana. We just want to talk a little bit about office ergonomics and how to set up your office properly so that you don't set yourself up for overuse injuries in the office. This is especially important for people who are at a desk 8 hours a day, especially if you don't end up moving around. We're lucky in our clinic in that our staff is sort of up and down and running around helping us as well, so we don't have a sustained position. But if you're in a situation where you're at a call center or something like that, you have to be very, very careful about your ergonomics. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to set up your keyboard. So just turn around and face the desk. So ideally what we want to have is just put your hands on the keyboard. So you want to have your elbow at about 90 degrees. There will be a little bit of a personal preference, up or down. You may find a little bit less or a little bit more feels more comfortable, but that definitely affects this kind of stuff as far as elbow pain and wrist pain. The second probably key thing, especially if you use a mouse a lot, and the more software now is using more mouse-based stuff rather than keyboard, is having the mouse, and just show them, just using having the mouse at the same level as the keyboard so that you're actually using your wrist to move the mouse rather than your whole arm. So if you put it up on the desk, what happens is you end up with your arm moving around and you'll end up with shoulder discomfort. Third thing that we want to point out is the chair. So you want to have a chair that you can adjust up and down, tilt forward and back, and have this back go in and out so that you can adjust it to your chair. There's so many different postures out there and different body heights and shapes that you want to have a chair that you can adjust all three ways. Finally, the position of the monitor as you're working, you should be able to basically look straight ahead and look at the monitor or have it slightly down. What you don't want to do is end up where you're sitting like this looking at the monitor, so just turn your head, look. So now we're in a rotated position for a long period of time, especially if you end up with two monitors you have to look at. More and more offices are having two monitors on a desk. Make sure that the two monitors are centered in front of you rather than one centered and one over on the one side, so you're always turning your head. So the final aspect is using a phone and using it properly. And one of the things is if you're on the phone for more than about 30 seconds or a minute duration, you have to make sure you have the right posture. The common thing that people will do because they're typing or something will end up tipping their head. So if Alana just turns a little bit more, you'll see the angle, and this ends up pinching these joints on that side of your neck. So for a short little 20-second thing, it's not a huge deal, but if you're on the phone a lot and you do that, you'll end up with neck problems. So you want to make sure that when you answer the phone, you use your hand to hold the phone and you keep your head straight. Otherwise, what you want to do is, if you're on the phone a lot, then you want to go to a headset so that you don't have to tip your head like that. So if you're smart about all the positions of where your keyboard is, where your mouse is, where your monitor is, how your chair is, and the phone, you shouldn't have any problems in your office.